dogs are probably going to bark. So in this house we have 3 dogs, 3 cats, and this is part of being at home. So they'll settle down. So thank you for tuning in. I'm Kelly Gilmore, and this is Sonia Costella, and we are here to spend 75 minutes with you this morning to do a really nice Vinyasa Flow practice. You can think of this as a way of just self-regulating, a way to just celebrate spring and the situation that we're all in globally, and just being here together. So thank you for tuning in. So please find a nice comfortable seat for yourself. You can sit on a blanket, a towel. Just don't sit on something too soft, so that there's something to really support your joints. So let's take a moment and get grounded. So we're going to start with a nice breathing exercise. So take a moment, feel your seat, find some length in your spine, softness in your neck and your throat, your face, and let's close our eyes. Just dropping into our breath. And even though this is, we're here and you're there, this is a way that we can still remember that we're connected even through distance. So we breathe together, we'll move together. Just notice the inhales and the exhales. And we're going to refine the breath a little bit here. A breath that's known scientifically, a lot of evidence behind this particular breathing exercise, where we inhale for the same count, we hold for the same, exhale for the same, hold for the same. Just continue this a few times. So you might not be able to count to 4, 5, or 6, so you're going to find your own rhythm. But we'll start with 4, and then from there you can decrease or increase, whatever you feel like you want to do. So please exhale all your breath out. Then we're going to inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Inhaling. 1, 2, 3, 4. Pause. 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, pausing, holding the breath out. 2, 3, 4. Please do 3 more rounds and find your own pace. Find a rhythm that feels like it really works for you, so that you don't feel as though you're straining or struggling. This is a great way to stay focused, to really pull you into the present moment. And in this particular moment, in this right now, it's a way that we can just take a break from everything going on in the world. It's a way that we come into self-care. Also a way that we come into finding a very deep gratitude for our own health and well-being right now. And how we can bring that in as an intention. We can infuse it into our practice today, so that we wish that health and well-being for all beings on this planet. We'll take one more round. Follow it by a nice deep inhalation, a short pause, and then a nice exhale out the mouth. hands to heart just for a moment. This is just a way that we invoke that blessing. We invoke that prayer. So our practice isn't merely just a form of exercise, but there's a devotion. That is guiding the movement. Relax the hands down, let the eyes open. Okay. And then recross the legs if you need to. We're going to take a few moments and just some seated poses here. So elevating the hips can be very helpful for the low back and just to bring ease to the hips and to the hip joints. As you inhale, reach your arms out and up, full stretch up. If the palms touch, great. If they don't worry. And as you exhale, just lower your arms down. Try to do that 2 more times as you inhale. Feeling as though you're moving through a little bit of resistance. As you reach up, feel the ribs come with you. As you exhale, this time even drop the head a little so the chin comes down to the chest. Inhaling, reaching, slowly let the gaze go up. So we start to lift the chin, the nose, the eyes. Exhale, bring the arms back down, let the chin drop. Good. Inhale, both arms reach up to the sky. As we exhale, we're going to bring the right hand down to the floor. Push down through the right hand to ground your outer left hip. Reach up. You can look down, forward, or up. As you exhale, reach over to your right. I'm just feeling that continual dropping of the outer left hip, so you really feel that nice stretch through the other side. Someone's trying to get her food. And then let the left arm pull you back up. Reach your right arm up. As you exhale, left hand comes down. Find that the left hand lines up to the left hip, but you can walk it out as much as you feel as though you can. Right hip stays down and grounded. Just feel this nice stretch through the right sideways. Maybe bending your left elbow a little bit. This will help you lean a little bit more to the left if you feel like you've got that space. And inhale, come up. Both arms reach up to sky. This time you're going to exhale, take the right hand down behind the right hip. Left hand finds the right knee or the right thigh. Just find a nice gentle twist here. Paying attention to how both sit bones feel like they're grounded down into the earth. How the tailbone feels anchored down as well. So there's a nice activation of the abdominal muscles as you turn and twist. Inhale, arms reach back up overhead. Exhale, left hand behind us, right hand to the thigh. Every inhalation, a little bit more opportunity to find more length. This is Sophie. And every exhale, just as the body gives you permission to go a little further. But remember, we're just getting started. So remember that. And then the inhale, both arms come back up overhead again. Good. And then take the right hand down again, one more time. Reach a little bit more this time. Feel the shoulders on the back. Push down into the earth. Reach up through the left arm. Inhale, come back up. Left hand finds its way down. Reach up through the right wrist, down through the right hip. Arcing over to the left. Push off the earth. Inhale, come up. Right hand behind the hip. Left hand finds the right thigh. Turn, twist. Maybe just a little further. Maybe looking over right shoulder. Inhale, both arms reach back up. Exhale, right hand finds left thigh. Turn, twist. Inhale, come back up. Good. Okay, this time you're going to take your left hand and find either your right thigh or your right knee. So you're going to lean a little over to the right. Okay, I'm going to try to keep your left arm straight. And then push down into your left sit bone and try to reach your right arm up a little bit more. Good. Just feel that A little rotation in the low back. Keep your belly really strong here. And then come back up. Left arm reaches up. Right hand finds the thigh or the knee. Good. Feel the right sit bone really ground. Reach up through the left wrist. Good. And then turn a little bit more to the left. And inhale back up. Both arms reach up. Look up. Exhale. Bring the arms down by your sides. I love you too. Okay, move your animals out of the way. Right, like most of us at home, as soon as we start to put our mat down on the ground, the animals gravitate towards the mat. So you're going to come onto hands and knees. If you need a blanket under your knees, go ahead and put that there. Spread the hands out nice and wide. Have your knees just a little behind your hips. We'll show you from the side. Good. Have the toes curled under. So as we inhale, we're going to drop the belly, lift the hips, lift the head. As we exhale, there's going to be a movement where we pull the hips back to the heels. Forehead might tap the earth, it might not. As you inhale, round through the spine. The very bottom of the inhale, or I should say the top of the inhale, the belly drops. As you exhale. So just slowing your breath down. You can come into Ujjayi breath. Coming back up. Top of the inhale, hips lift, head lifts. There's a little pause. And as you exhale, hips pull back to the heels. Stay nice and grounded through your hands. And 2 more times. So those of you that might be wondering, if Sonia and I are practicing social distancing, we live together. So that's the beauty of having a best friend and a yoga buddy in the house with you. One more time, hips pull back to the heels. Stay here. Walk your hands just a little bit more forward if you can. And your forehead might come down to a blanket, to the earth, or even to a block if you have it at home. And slowly coming back up. Walk the hands back up underneath the shoulders a little bit. Keep your knees where they are. Go ahead and curl your toes under and lift your hips up and back for downward facing dog. Start to pedal the feet out a little bit here. But as you pedal the feet and maybe even rock your hips from side to side, don't lose the connection that you have through your hands. First fingers and thumbs really rooting down. Let the head release, maybe shake it out a little bit. And then come into stillness. Bending the knees as much as you need to. If your legs easily go straight, that's fine too. Just don't push the backs of your knees to straighten your legs. And then we're going to exhale and come down to the knees. Take them a little bit wider. Good. And then we're going to reach the right arm up to the sky. As we exhale, the right arm's going to weave between the left wrist and the left knee. And the right side of the shoulder, the right side of the head will come down. But once you get there, play with your left arm so it really supports all the way up into the shoulder, all the way up into the neck. Feel the hips move a little bit more over to the right. Push into the left hand. Reach the right arm back up. And the right hand comes down. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Navel's pulling to the spine. Exhale. Come into the twist. Once your shoulder drops and your head drops, find a position for your right hand that feels like it really supports all the way up into the neck and into the upper back. Hips move a little to the left. And the right hand pushes down. Float the left arm back up again. Maybe look up towards the thumb. And left hand comes down. And then lifting the hips back and up again, downward facing dog. Push the floor down, lift the hips high. And again, a bend in the knees can be very helpful for finding decompression in your low back. And then from here, we're going to inhale and come forward to a high plank. And as you come here, you're going to rock forward and back on your toes. Just opening up into the toe joints. Start to find a nice toning through the legs. Good. And then come to the knees. And then all the way down to the belly. Take the arms by your sides. Bring your forehead down to the earth. Pull your legs a little closer together. And as you inhale, lift through the legs, the chest, the arms, and the head. Feel like your inner knees and your inner thighs are reaching a little bit more towards the sky. So you don't turn your feet out. Just feel how this starts to warm the spine, warm all the muscles of the back body. Lift the chest a little higher, lift the heels a little higher. Good, and hands under shoulders. Push up to a little baby cobra here. Elbows squeeze in and back. Firm legs. Toes push down. Curl toes, either coming to all fours or up through plank. And back to downward facing dog. Shake the head out again. Just feel how you're starting to just be more present, be more on your mat, be more in your body, be more with your breath. Come into the things and be grateful for the things that you're very certain of in your life right now. As we are all dealing with a lot of uncertainty. And then start to walk your feet nice and slow forward. So the calves start to get a little stretch. And then you'll know when it's time to lift up onto the fingertips. And know that if you have blocks at home, it's the perfect time to use your blocks. Your hands can be on shins. The knees can be bent. Lift and spread all the toes. Then lower them back down to the earth. Create a little suction through the arches of the feet as you really root down to the center of your heels, the mound of the big toe, the mound of the pinky toe. Take a full breath in. As you exhale, slowly fold in just a little bit more deeply. And then we're going to drop the hips. Feel weight coming down into that center point of the heels. And slowly reach your arms up for Utkatasana. So some of us like to have our feet a little closer together. That's fine. A basic rule in Utkatasana, if the feet are together, the knees are together. If the feet are apart, the knees are apart. Drop a little lower. And then push into the feet. Inhale, reach up to the sky. Arc back a little. Open the arms. And then exhale, bring the hands to heart. All right. Let's take a moment here. Rock back and forth. Just checking in with our balance this morning. And also a great way to open up the feet. And then heels come back down. Good. Arms reach back up. Inhale. Good. Exhale, folding forward. Inhale, reach your heart forward. Good. Exhale, step back to high plank. Anytime you want to make it low plank, just drop down to the knees. If you want to skip it, skip it. Exhale, lower down. Point the toes, strong legs. Inhale, rise up. Either cobra, good. Or you can come up into upward facing dog. And pull hips back, downward facing dog. Take a full breath in, a little pause, and a big sigh out of the mouth. Good. Look forward. And again, take that slow walk forward. Drawing the navel in like there's a hollowing in the low belly. And then when your 2 feet feel landed, inhale, stretch your heart forward. Exhale, bow back down. Push into the feet. Reach to the sky. Look up. Exhale, hands to heart. One more time. Inhale, arms reach. Exhale, fold in. Stretch the spine. Step back, plank. Take an inhale here if you need it, or you're riding your whole exhalation out, coming down to earth. Toes point, push the tops of the feet into the floor. Rising up. Exhale, hips pull back, downward facing dog. When you get into down dog, again, take that breath in, a little pause, and a nice big sigh out. And take that slow journey forward. Again, when the feet land, stretch the spine, fold in, push to the feet. Feel that groundedness as you reach to the sky. So you feel your roots. Exhale, hands to heart. Good. Take a full breath in. And complete it all the way out. Reaching up to the sky. Take the right hand down to the right leg. You might have a slight bend in your knees, but there's a firming of your legs. As you exhale, arc over to the right. So you can keep your hand here. If you want a little bit more activation of core, reach your right arm to shoulder height. But if you feel this, bring any tension into your low back. Just keep your hand right here or onto the hip. Good. Inhaling, coming up. Left hand down the leg. Reach up through the right wrist, down to the right heel, and arc over left. And again, you can reach your arm or have the hand here. And inhale, come up. Good. As we exhale, we're going to sweep the arms back behind us, interlace the fingers. So if they don't interlace, you could grab a shirt. You're at home, so you have a lot of things that you have availability to. So whatever that might be, a washcloth, hand towel, whatever you need. Bent knees or straight legs. Head releases. Maybe the heels of the hands come together. And then slowly release the bind. Coming back into Utkatasana. Hips drop, heels heavy, toes light, arms to sky. Draw the low ribs in, look up. Exhale, hands come down. Find your way back, downward facing dog. From downward facing dog, lift right leg up to sky. And again, feeling the right inner knee and the right inner thigh pulling up to the sky. And then as we exhale, we're going to pull the knee into the chest. Maybe tapping the nose, maybe not. Inhaling. Exhale. And 2 more times. Reaching the leg. Pull back through the heel, down through the thumb. Exhale. 1 more time, reach up. Exhale, drop the right foot down. Take a break if you need it. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, pull the knee in. Extend the leg back. Moving in a way that makes sense to your body. Not rushing. So you can feel everything integrate in. And left foot hits the earth. Inhale forward to the plank or skip it. Come to knees if you like. Lower down. Toes point. Inhale. And back. Downward facing dog. So anytime you need a break, don't wait for me to offer a child's pose. Just take it. And again, that nice slow walk forward. And as the heels root down, feel like your pelvic floor is lifting up. Feet land, heart reaches. Fold in. Drop hips. Reach arms. Utkatasana. So we're going to come into a twist. So you might want to have your feet just a little bit closer together. Bring the hands to the chest. Take a moment here. So it's like you're sticking your booty back, but finding a balance of anchoring the tail down as well. Okay? Good. And then lift the spine out of the pelvis. I'm going to drop the left elbow towards the right thigh. So my left knee's coming a little forward, so I'm going to pull my left knee back and try to get my knees right in line with each other. Your gaze can stay down. And feeling even weight through your feet. And as you push into the thigh, push your hands together. Slowly start to open the chest a little bit more. And we're going to release. Reach the arms back, up. And then hands come back to chest. Take a full inhalation, trying to get as much length as you can. Exhale. Right elbow finds left thigh. Look at your knees. Make sure the right knee is not pulling forward. Okay, pull the right knee back to meet left. Hips pull back. Heart reaches forward. And turn and twist to what feels honest for you in your body. And exhale, release. Inhale, arms reach up. Exhale, bow. So you step your right leg back. Drop your right knee down. Make sure the left heel is grounded. You could put a blanket under your right knee if you need it. Inhale, arms reach up. Anjaneyasana. So take your time here, right? It's the beauty of being at home and moving a little bit slower. And we all have a little bit more time right now. So use it wisely. So root down through the bones of the legs. Lift up through the bones of the spine. Lift the chin a little. Arc back as much as what feels comfortable for you. And both hands down. Okay, we're going to get into the back of the left leg here. So slide your right knee back a little bit. And then we're going to start to come into a runner stretch. So the left toes will lift. This is a perfect time if you're at home and you need blocks. Okay. You could even pull a chair and have a chair about shoulder height here. Okay. Have the blocks underneath the shoulders. And then let your hips rock a little bit side to side. And as your hips rock side to side, the left foot will just follow along. Remembering to get in all three of the hamstrings. And even into the calf, right? To all the muscles of the calf. You might even have a big bend in your left knee like that. That's fine. And now try to pull your sits bones back. Draw the muscles of the pelvic floor in and up. Feel that refer all the way up into the heart. And then maybe just a little bit more bow over your left leg. And coming back up, slide the left foot back a little bit. Move the blocks out of the way. Lift your back knee. Make sure left knee is right over left ankle. Maybe walk your feet just a step more side to side. And then the left arm's going to float up for lunge twist. So your palm can be flat if you want it to be flat. Again, you can find a block. Sometimes the blocks allow you to go deeper into the pose. Allow more space for breath to be more fluid, finding those pathways of feeding the energy body. Left hand down. Good. And step back down dog. 3 breaths. Drop to child's pose if you want. Okay. Or stay in downward facing dog. And I know a lot of you at home have already done a vinyasa, and that's fine too. And then slow walk forward. And just notice every time you do this little by little, how your hands can stay a little bit more grounded as you're walking your feet. Inhale, stretch your spine. Fold back in. Please step your left leg back. Running lunge. Again, you can take a blanket and pat it. I have an old knee injury on the left side, so it likes patting. Inhale, reach arms up. And as much effort as you're putting into the precision of the poses, the quality of the poses, find that much ease as well. So find the softness through the neck, the shoulders, the eyes, the jaw, with all that effort that you're putting into your legs, pelvic floor, belly. Arc back a little, and both hands down. And then slide your left knee back a little bit, your right heel a little forward. Use the blocks if you need them. And wagging your tail. You can think of it as a monkey tail, as this is Ardha Hanumanasana. And then come back to stillness. Bend in the right knee if you need it. Feel the sits bones pull back, heart pulls forward, and maybe bowing in. Push back up, slide right foot back. Good. And then place the foot back down. Lift the back knee. See that the kneecap is pointing straight down. Left hand to earth, right arm to sky. Lunge twist. Squeeze the right hip in as you feel your left inner thigh corkscrewing more up to the sky. A little cobra in your upper back. Your shoulders aren't here, right? Trying to pull your shoulders down. Then right hand down. Right foot steps back to meet left. Inhale, come forward to plank. Keep the heart pulling forward, heels pulling back, lower down. And a full inhale to pull you up. Exhale, pull back. Full breath in, and a big sigh out. Please lift the right leg up to sky. As you exhale, slowly squeeze the right knee in. And as lightly as you can, right foot steps through. Sometimes you have to grab your foot and put it where you want it. Spin the back heel. Heel to arch alignment. Right knee over the ankle. And let your left arm pull you up into warrior two. So again, take a little time. When we think of alignment, it's not just that we're aligning on a physical level, but we can also align back to our intentions for the practice. Aligning to an energy that provides that health and well-being to all beings. Let the left hand slide down the back leg, float the right arm overhead. And just like we did a moment ago, if you want more, extend your left arm back behind you, keeping the wrists about shoulder height. But listen to your low back. And inhale, come back up. Place the hands to the hips. We're going to turn our right toes to the direction of our left toes. Okay, and make sure too that your toe tips are in line to the outer edge of the sticky mat. And the hands are on the hips to root the hips down and then lift through the sternum. Pull your elbows back as much as you can. And pushing down to the feet, pull your leg muscles into the midline. So it's almost like you're trying to pull your inner thighs together. And then as you exhale, hinging forward from your hip creases, coming down, down, down. Hands find the floor or a block or a piece of furniture. Let the head release. Okay, and then from here, come up halfway. Walk your feet in just a little bit, and then turn your toes out slightly. Just coming in and out of the left knee. Going from side to side here. And moving slower gives us an opportunity, again, to feel like we're moving through some resistance. And as we move through that resistance, it's a way that we can also build more strength. Some of you may find you want to go a little wider. You may start to lift one set of toes as you go into the opposing knee, like coming into Sangasana. If you choose to take your hands out of it, right, just make sure that your legs, right, and your hip muscles are strong enough to support it. And then come back to center. Heel toe your feet a little closer together. Walk the hands to the thighs, push into the thighs to come up to upright position here. So you're leaning a little forward. The toes are turned out slightly. And instead of trying to pull your shoulders down, I want you to actually let your shoulders come up towards your ears. This is lengthening the side body, which therefore is lengthening through the vertebra of the spine. Pelvic floor tones, low belly tones. Take a nice inhale. As you exhale, dip your right shoulder, look over your left. Use your inhale to come back up. And exhale, left shoulder dips, look over right. Good. And just repeat this a few times, moving at your own rhythm. The full inhalation to bring you back up, and the completion of your exhale to lower the shoulder. And let's just do it one more time each side. With spring here, it's a nice time to do a little bit more twisting of the body. We can think of it as a way of kind of wringing out a little bit, making space for fresh new ideas. And then here, I'm going to turn the heels back out, lower back down to forward fold. You might hold to the outsides of your shins, to your arches, or grab the big toes. Or again, depending on your flexibility, it may look a little bit like this. And then we're going to turn the right toes forward. Lift the back heel. Walk the back foot in a little bit. Take a moment in a lunge. Make sure, again, your feet are not on a tightrope. Squeeze your outer hips in, coming up into high lunge. Squeeze your left glute. Good, hands down. And left foot steps forward. Take an inhale, stretch your spine, and step back to down dog. Breathe. Inhale, left leg to sky. And as you exhale, squeeze it in. And it's okay to lean to the right if you need to get your left foot through. Good. Back heel spins. Right arm pulls us up. Warrior two. Take a little time. Find the heel to arch alignment. Not leaning forward, but feel the right arm pull you back a little bit. Feel this nice vertical alignment through the spine. Right hand down the back leg. Reach the right arm if you want. This requires a lot more from this band of the body. Right? Good. Hands to the hips. Left toes turn to meet the right toes. Same thing, push the hips down, lift the sternum up, squeeze your elbows in, lift the chin, nose, eyes. Exhale, fold your way forward. And then we're going to place hands either down to the floor or you'll find your block. I'm going to place the left hand on the block. And notice there's a little angle in my arm. So the block is directly under my face. And make sure you haven't gone too wide with your feet. Keep it practical. And then pushing down through the feet, toning through the legs into the pelvic floor. Reach through the spine and then slowly start to take your right arm up to the sky. You can look down, forward, or up to the right arm. Try to keep your inner left thigh moving to the left. And right hand down. Take a moment here. And then placing the right hand to the floor or to the block. And then slowly reaching left arm to sky. So the right hip's going to want to come with you, especially if we're tight in the back area and in the shoulders. So you might just keep your hand on your hip and open this way. Top of the head reaches out of the shoulders. And left hand down. Good. Take a full inhalation here. Stretch through your spine. Exhale and fold. If you have a block, you could even let your forehead rest on the block. It can be very comforting. Grab your toes, the outside edges of your feet, your shins. And then slowly, left toes turn forward. Right heel lifts to sky. So look at my feet right now. It's very much like I'm on a tightrope. So I'm going to walk my left foot to the left, my right foot to the right, just a tad bit here. Just feel your midline for a moment. And then squeeze your hips in, coming up into high lunge, crescent pose. Squeeze the right glute. A little more into the left knee if you can. Look up or not. And both hands down to the left foot. Left foot steps back to meet right. Find down dog first. Find that placement through the hands. Remembering just how we place our body is a true reflection of just how we're showing up, how committed we are to the practice. Inhale, come forward. High plank. Lower down. Bend your knees. It wasn't rehearsed. There's no rehearsal here. Bend your knees and reach back and find your feet.
So you can hold like I'm holding here, or you can wrap your hands and hold to the inside. This just is a more requirement for upper back strength and openness through the chest. Okay. Just take a moment here, let your forehead rest. If you're feeling a lot of sensation in your quadriceps and in your low back right now, just stay there and breathe with that. And for those of us that want to come up on the next inhalation, the shins pull back, the thigh bones lift up, the chest lifts, and the outer edges of our mouth pull to our outer shoulders. And release. Pull your arms around, stack your forearms, drop your forehead, and take 3 breaths. Really trying to breathe into the low waist, into the back. And just noticing how your breath is a continual, just self-regulator. Hands under shoulders. Maybe a little cobra to come up. Widen the knees. And pull the hips back to the heels. Child's pose. You can make it active, arms reaching forward, or a little bit more passive, arms back. And then bring the arms back if you have them by the sides. Coming back up into all fours. Lifting hips back up again, downward facing dog. Bending the knees if you need to. And then that slow walk. Like every time you take a step, there's just this deep respect for what you're walking on. Heart reaches forward. Bow back in. Push into the feet. And reach to the sky. Hands to the heart. Just feel your feet underneath you. Feel the power, the strength of your legs. Release the arms down by your sides. Just take a moment in tree pose before we slowly start to get down to the ground. Someone still wants her food. So we're going to stand steady on the left foot. And then just pull the right knee up for a moment. And this might, again, for our balance, maybe this is all you're working with today. And you're slowly going to maybe grab your shin or your ankle and pull your right foot up to anywhere on the inseam of your left leg. It's important to note that the right toes are pointing down. And then squeeze your left hip in as you push your right heel in. And we're going to try to take the right knee back, but the right hip forward. So right knee back, right hip forward. Hands to heart. Gaze is steady. Breath is smooth. No judgment on how you're balancing, just doing your best. And letting that be enough. And release. And when you're live streaming, you're definitely like, you wonder about your form. Right. Am I going to square? What am I doing in the pose? All right. So standing on your right leg. Find that triangle. The right heel, mounted big toe, mounted pinky toe. And then starting here, just noticing again, is this enough for you today? And then slowly open the knee, hold to the knee, shin or ankle, pull it up. Left toes pointing down. And same thing here. Squeeze your right hip in. Push your left heel in. Left knee back. Left hip forward. You can keep the hands on the hips. It's a nice way to just feel that downward moving energy, that apana, that grounding energy. And feel free to close your eyes and be more expressive in the pose, more creative in the pose. And if you sway, you sway. Yeah.
And if you fall, you fall.
If you fall, you fall. And release your left foot down. Good. Feel your feet on the earth. Feel your breath move through you. And again, even though we're tuning in via computers, phones, whatever they may be, feel us breathing together, moving together, taking this time together. Inhale, float the arms up, look up. Exhale, bow. Pull the heart through. Step back to down dog. I'm going to take one last twist here. So you're going to walk your feet in a little bit closer so that the heels kind of fairly easily come down to the floor. So your dog's a little shorter. But make sure you're not here. So the shoulders are moving down to the waistline. You're going to take the left hand, see if you can hold on to either the right thigh, the right shin, or maybe down towards your right ankle. So notice how I'm leaning now a little to my right. So I want to bring the weight back into my left heel. And then push through my right hand and bend my left elbow and turn and twist, lifting the right rib cage to the sky. And come back to center. Left hand down. Right hand finds either the thigh, the knee, the shin, or the ankle. Find the weight again in the right heel so the hips aren't moving over to the left. And then pull, open the chest, left chest. And release. Come back down to the knees. And find a seat. You're going to pull the knees in towards the chest and sit up as tall as you can. So this requires a really good relationship between the side body, the front body, and the back body to collectively draw in. Okay? And then we're going to lean back a little bit. So you might have your hands by your sides, like so. Keep the collarbones open. Good. And then we're going to come into Navasana. So you can come into it again with your hands here. You can keep your hands behind your knees like Sonia has right now. You can point or flex through your feet. Keep the low belly like there's a hollowing of the low belly. Arms can reach forward if you like. And don't forget about the pelvic floor. You're keeping the pelvic floor pretty active here. Good. And then we're going to come forward and we're going to cross the right shin in front of the left shin. If you need a blanket to sit on, please grab a blanket to sit on. Pick your seat up, pull your hips back, and then replant your sits bones. Flex through the heels if you need to, especially if you have knee issues. So you can fold forward here, or for those of you that have more open hips and want to come into Agni Sambhasana, fire log pose, you can stack your ankle over your shin. I don't feel like that today. So actually I went out for a nice walk this morning, so my hips are a little tight, so this is working for me. So find length in the spine, mindful of your low back. And then again, if you have your blocks, you could put your elbows or your forearms on the blocks. Feel the weight of the hips.
listen to the sound of your breath. And start to walk your way back up. Coming back into Navasana. So finding all those actions again. If you want a little more, you start to straighten your legs. But if you straighten your legs, you really have to be mindful if anything changed through your spine. So for this particular Navasana, we're trying to keep a nice length through the spine. And if you want more, you could reach your arms overhead. If you want less, your knees bend, your hands come. And left shin crosses in front of right. Pick your seat back up, pull your hips back, replant. If you want to come into fire log, bring this shin on top of this shin. Take the inhale, make space. Exhale and fold. And the space that we're creating within our bodies, this can signify a way that we can think of just tending to our inner soil. Yesterday we spent a lot of time in the garden planting seeds and all the cooler weather veggies. And just a reminder of how we're constantly have the potential to plant seeds within ourselves of what we want to manifest in our lives, what we want to see grow. And slowly coming up. Okay, and then from here we're going to find our way onto our backs. So you can come down through Navasana if you want. I don't know, you're at home, so you can do whatever you want to do. I'm just going to lay down. Squeeze the knees into your chest. And drop your feet back down to the floor. Let me do a little time check, because I get a little carried away. Okay, good. All right. Right leg reaches up to sky. Cross right ankle over left thigh. Pull left knee into chest. Hold to the shin or the back of the thigh. Just for about 2 breaths here. You can even move a little here, wiggle from side to side. And we're going to drop the left foot down. Pull the hips over to the right. And then keep your ankle where it is and drop your outer left knee and your right foot down to the floor. I like to hold. I'll show you from the side. I like to hold my ankle as I'm doing this, just as it's going to want to slide like that. So if I hold it, and let the right arm splay open, maybe even looking towards your right hand. And still staying with a nice, maybe soft Ujjayi breath, a very nice rhythmic, fluid breath. And we're slowly going to pull the knees back up and then let the feet hit the earth. Left leg kicks up to sky. Left ankle over right thigh pulls in. Hold to the shin, the back of the thigh, maybe even down towards your ankle. And stay right here if you want, or a little movement. Okay, and then right foot hits the floor, hips splay over to left, and then from here, finding a hip twist opener.
hip opener twist. Yes. And then your right hand can hold your left ankle if you want. So some of you, the right knee might not come down to the floor, and that's okay. If it's uncomfortable, put a blanket underneath your right knee or even a block. Feel the left shoulder get heavier and heavier, the left rib cage get heavier and heavier. When I do this pose on this side, I particularly feel it in the hip. When I do it on the other side, I particularly feel it in my low back. So it's very common to feel different sensations through the body on different sides. And this is amazing information that we get from our bodies. It's just a matter of slowing down and listening. And we pull both knees back up. And cross the feet. Find your waist centered in the middle of your mat. Walk your shoulder blades in towards the spine a little bit more. Feel the heels push down, the mound of the big toe, mound of the pinky toe, and then start to lift your hips up to the sky for a bridge pose. If you're at home and you want to do a full wheel, full back bend, by all means, go for it. I'll do one with you. So you place your hands by the ears. If your low back is bothering you, I don't recommend it. But if you are going to be stubborn and do it anyway, maybe just lift your heels. I'm going to start on the top of the head and lift up. And then wherever you are, start to come down. Take a moment here. Either do one more or don't. So you may find this time you want to come into wheel, or you're going to come into bridge. Or you're just going to lie here and feel what you just did. And then finding your way back down to earth. Take the feet wide and drop the knees in. Place the right hand on the belly, the left hand on the heart. Just feeling the breath rise and fall. And you can keep your hands right where they are. And now you're going to walk your feet closer together. And then open your knees out for Baddha Konasana. Supta Baddha Konasana. We're going to pull the knees back in, release the hands down, and then take a last squeeze of the knees into the chest, maybe pulling your forehead into the knees. Making as tight of a ball as you can. And then like a nice fiddle fern, opening up, just slowly lower down. And then finding your way into final relaxation. So if you have a blanket, you could either cover up with your blanket or make a nice, and you could have a nice towel too. Right, it could be a thicker towel. So making sure that it's right up under the creases of the backs of your knees. You might even find that putting something over your eyes can be very comforting. And just reclining back. So take up whatever amount of space you have. Let your arms come away from the body. Let your legs go nice and wide. Feel the arches of the feet soften, the backs of the knees, all the way up into the hip creases. Relax the belly. All the way up into the rib cage. Feel the arms and the wrists relax into the finger joints. Just feel a nice warming sensation around the neck and the shoulders. We're all a little tense right now, so just give some of that to the earth. She knows what to do with it. Just let it go. Create a little space between your teeth so your jaw unclenches. The cheekbones relax. The inner corners of the eyes are soft, as is the space between the eyes. And just feel like your brain can relax right now. It's going to get quiet for a moment. So try to stay with us in Shavasana and try to stay in this stillness. Slowly start to move, stretching through your ankles, your toes, making some circles, pointing and flexing. And then bring that into the fingers, into the wrists and the hands. Take a big stretch. And as you exhale, knees come into the chest. And you can either roll to your right side or rock right up to a seat. Find something to sit on, and with just a little more breathing. So the breath that we did in the beginning okay, which is what we call samavriti, or the inhale, pause, exhale, pause are all the same. So for this one, we want to just think of elongating the exhalation. And so your breath, any type of breath work that you do should never create more anxiety, right? So don't put pressure on yourself to feel as though you have to stay with our count. Okay, so the way it goes is you're going to breathe in for 4, you're going to hold for 4, and you're going to exhale out for 8. Okay, so if you need to breathe in for 3, hold for 3, breathe out for 7, that's fine. Okay, we're going to bring our hands into a prana mudra. So you'll bring your thumb, your ring finger, and your pinky finger together, and the 2 peace fingers splay out. Okay. Sit up tall, feel the tail anchor down. And again, as I mentioned earlier, finding as much ease as you are effort right now. Really tapping into that balance. So exhale all your breath out. And together in for 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, without grasping, take the inhale in, 1, 2, 3, 4, pause, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So find your own rhythm here. We'll do this for 3 more rounds. And even though you are at home, try to stay with it. Whenever we really engage in the way that we control our breathing, it reminds us that we actually have a control over how we react and how we respond to situations in life. But it takes practice. So stay with it. And again, find a rhythm that feels practical and makes sense for you and your body. And one more round. Just feel that nice long exhale complete its way out. And then come back into your own authentic, natural rhythm. And visualize just all the people engaging in this 75 minutes together, as though you're in the same space, as though you're in the same room, breathing together. That virtual connection. And let the next inhalation pull the hands together to the heart. Thank you so much for tuning in. And may love and light guide our way today and every day. Namaste. Thank you.
Oh, let's see, finish. Do I hit finish?